You're supposed to grow and evolve. You're supposed to change. You're not supposed to remain the same. Now, why am I bringing that up? Out with the old, in with the new. Life is dynamic. There's no stagnant state in the universe. Every day we're getting older, right? You're either going up in weight or going down in weight. You don't stay the same. There's life, there's death, right? The sun comes up, the sun goes down, right? This is life, y'all. Now, I'm bringing this up for many reasons. Number one, many of you, wherever you're at now, just like I was when I started this journey 12 or 13 years ago, you want to change, you want more, you want something different, you want to develop, you want to make more money, whatever it is. Meaning whatever you're doing now, how you are now, how you think, how you speak, it has you where you're at. Things, some will stay the same, but many things are going to have to change in order for you to grow. And you will have to let go of the older stuff. Now, what happens? Well, let me give you a few examples, like with me. This online journey has been interesting because as my channel has evolved, as I've grown, as I've changed and developed and gotten better, I have people sometimes coming who maybe, because of where they're at, identified more with an older version of me. You guys can run this parallel example in your life. How many times have you desired more, wanted more, made a positive change in the spirit of getting better, making more money or whatever it is, and then somebody comes and makes passive aggressive comments or, oh, you know, you've changed, or I like the old you better and stuff like that, right? That's what I want you to reference right now as I'm giving this story. I've had a lot of people come, right, after the whole fiasco of my main channel, which I deleted now, getting censored and all that in 2020. Some people have come back. Some people have come back negatively. Some people have come back just to acknowledge certain things. And they'll say things such as, well, I like the old version. I miss, the old version of Bryan and blah, 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 blah. But again, objectively, the old version of me was worse, literally in every category. Why people say that, though, and why I don't get upset and I understand it is, for whatever reason, those individuals identify with something in that older version of me. Maybe where they're at now and where they're still at is in that hustle grind mode, building brand new, like I was 12 or 13 years ago. So that would make sense. They resonate more with that younger version of Bryan. Still in his 20s, rebuilding himself, reinventing himself, right? New to the whole game, right? Kid in a candy store, wide-eyed, and they're still there. And then I went through the phase of making a lot of money, having success, growing my social media, buying the Lambos and all the fancy shit, right? Now I moved into Miami. I'm a lot more like stoic now and living simple, right? And I keep evolving and growing, investing more into real estate, getting rid of all the material stuff, which was, again, just a box for me to check. But every step along the way, somebody may be upset because they identify more with that version of me, that year, whatever it is. Now, I'm bringing that up because this is the first point. Many of you, because you respect the people or you care too much about what their opinion is on that, you'll start to second guess yourself in your evolution. You're supposed to grow and change. You're not supposed to stay the same. You're not supposed to remain the same. You're supposed to grow and evolve. Imagine if I dressed now at 40 years old the same as I did when I was 20 or 25. I look like a fool. Imagine if I thought the same. Imagine if I conversed at the same level. It would be embarrassing. But a lot of people, because they're jealous or for whatever reason, like I listed earlier, they relate more to that version of you, or they secretly are jealous of you, whatever it is, they will make those types of comments. And I'm bringing that specific example up because many of you deal with that. You may not consciously think of it, but a lot of times we resist making these changes because of wanting outside approval. In many cases from people that don't really care about us. Like, how many of you feel this urge to want to show stuff on social media? Oh, that I'm partying and I'm living it up. Who cares? Why are you seeking validation? Stop for a second. Who are you trying to impress? Are you living your life, or are you living your life to impress or get someone else's approval? Because that second one that I just said is a one-way path to a personal hell that you will not like and you will not enjoy long term. Embrace change. Right now, let's say you're coming across me and you're in a transitionary period. Maybe you got into real estate, you got into sales, you became an entrepreneur, you started a business, you're doing something radically new, you got into a new hobby that's totally out of your comfort zone. Good. Embrace that discomfort. Embrace that rookie phase. Embrace that not knowing phase. Embrace that I'm terrible at this phase. Good. That's what you need. That's going to keep that young, fresh, hungry energy in you. That's going to keep you excited about life. To know that there's a next thing that you can learn and get better at. That's what life is about. That's why I love having all these books and rereading some of them and getting new ones. And man, it's awesome. It's amazing. That simultaneously keeps you viewing life in a light that is awesome, lighthearted, and more in a positive light versus negative. It's going to move you forward. It's going to inspire you. It's going to get you more excited. It's going to put a smile on your face. It's going to have you looking forward to things, because when we change and when we embrace change and when we are faced with this new stuff, right? Not only does it keep life fresh, it also, for the human being, lets you know that you're on this path of evolution and progress and you're not stagnating. You see, think of us in a way similar to water. When water stagnates, it starts to get dirty and breed bacteria. If water flows, it carries the current, right? It carries electricity, it brings life. You can drink it, on the stream, go into that natural spring water, right? And it's the ultimate giver of life. But that same water stagnates and it goes bad. So think of us in that light too. We need to be constantly growing and moving. Same thing with your body. If I was to sit like this for a long time, my body would start to morph. I would start to lose muscle. I would start to lose the ability, because the body's not meant to stay still. It's meant to move. Any of you who have had surgeries or had major injuries, what's one of the first things they do? They get you moving. They want the blood flowing. They don't want the tendons and the muscles to get stiff, right? We're meant to move. We're not meant to stagnate. Same thing with the mind. We're suffering right now because we let the mind stagnate. When you sit there and do nothing, your mind's going to go into survival mode, which is negative. Look for problems, look for issues. If you got your head in books, you're in activities, you're writing down what you're doing, your future, you're focused on the tasks that you need to get done for the day because you've directed your mind and your purpose, you don't have time for all that other stuff. You see, but that's cool. When you have that energy of doing something new or evolving and growing, new career, whatever it is, you're going to be naturally in that mode, which is how you perform best and operate best as a human being. Because even if we sit around and do nothing like a monk, that monk's purpose is to be that way for life, and they're focused on their next activity. I'm going to meditate for an hour and do this and train. They still have the same thing that I'm talking about here, but they're doing nothing. But there's a focus and intention behind what they're doing. We suffer now because we sit around aimlessly. I'm working on projects right now. I'm growing my nationwide real estate team. I've been reconstructing my brand. I deleted my social media, 50,000 followers on Instagram, 200,000 followers on YouTube. I'm building it over again. I'm like I said earlier, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm excited about this, the beginning of a new era, the end of an old era, embracing change. Is it scary? Absolutely. You know how hard it was to do that? To delete a YouTube channel with 200,000 subscribers that took me 6-7 years to build before they destroyed it? Because even though it's in a state that it was, being all suppressed and everything, it was still difficult. I did it without hesitation, but it was still difficult because I knew all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that. And 99% of what happened to that channel and my Instagram and me getting originally kicked off Facebook was wrongdoing. That should have never happened. But like the resilient individual and entrepreneur I am, turned it off, started new. We keep going. The train does not stop. It's going to come back with a vengeance. And all those MFers are going to regret what they did to me because I'm coming back 10 times stronger. Yes, sir. And those people who are still with me now and continue to join my communities and do what I do, they understand it and they feel it. This train has never stopped. And for those of you who have been around for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, name other people who have been this consistent and haven't fallen off. And I've gone through my trials and tribulations, as have you. Switching companies and having to delete my social media. That's a lot. That's a lot. You guys have no idea how much that impacted my businesses and my income and everything else. But I will recreate it and more. And in all of that turmoil, because I embrace change and keep doing it, there's been blessings in there too. great new relationships, working with a developer now, rekindling old relationships, moving to a new company, which has ended up being a blessing in disguise. Although it was a necessary evil that I had to go through before, now it's been nothing but positive, and in retrospect, one of the best decisions ever. Personal stuff, right? Like all that stuff, there's been a lot of turmoil and challenges, but a lot of, again, blessings within that. But I would not have gotten those blessings unless I took those steps and took the action steps and did the things that I had to do. You're going to have to change. And some of these changes and chapters in your life are not going to be comfortable when you transition. It's okay. You got to do it. You should be more afraid and hesitant to stay the same than you are to change. And in that process, your environment will change, the people around you will change, and all that stuff. I still have a bunch of old friends and students and team members that have rode with me for a long time, and some have gone the other way or left. And some even don't like me anymore. That's fine. But I embraced that because I knew at some point that was going to happen. Whether a little bit or a lot, that's okay. That's life. I'm not going to force anybody to stay with me. I'm not going to sit there and question it. I don't care. Whether it's personal relationships, romantic relationships, I don't care. Life is going to keep moving. I'm not going to dwell on stuff. I'm going to look at the past as a learning lesson to grow, to be grateful, to acknowledge things, and then we're moving forward. Because remember, the train and you, your mind, your life, your body, your spirit has to keep moving forward. That is the essence of life. The more I've tapped into that, engaged with it, the better I've been, the happier that I've been, even if outside stuff isn't exactly where I want it to be. And it's not right now, not at all. But we're still moving forward and making stuff happen. I'm not skipping a beat. I'm consistent. Doing the trainings with my team. Every day I'm doing stuff, trainings, lectures, finishing the books that I'm writing, finishing my new black book of questions for sales. And I'm going to do two, one for real estate and one for sales in general, right? I'm still recruiting for my team and doing all this other stuff, right? On a daily basis, I'm training people and lecturing and helping people, right? I'm doing a ton of stuff. I'm doing 2 long form videos a day on YouTube. I'm doing 3 reels a day on YouTube and Instagram. I mean, I'm cranking stuff out on all cylinders. This is what I do. But I've hit that rhythm and flow, and it's just, it's good. And now if I compare that to moments of when none of that's being done, I'm more fulfilled in these moments because I'm, again, going towards and getting closer to and creating my purpose, my legacy, and putting that stamp on life that I want to put on. That's what it's about. When you're engaged in that and the psyche knows that you are, even if outside circumstances aren't ideal, you're going to go to sleep with a smile on your face, even if you're not where you want to be yet. Because you know deep down inside in your soul and in your spirit, in your loins, that you're going after what you want. And at the end of the day, that's what you need to do. This is why even the people who are with me, even like coaching members that I have, the ones that are hustling and busting their ass every day, because not all of them are, right? We got to be real. Not everybody's going to, but the ones that are, even if they're not where they want to be or they're facing the challenges, they tell me that deep down inside they do feel a sense of accomplishment even already because they know they're going after it with everything. And that's all we can ask. Because eventually you'll get there if you do that, if you tap into that spirit and continue. But that's what it's about. I've helped these individuals become clear about who they are, what they want, that gap that they need to cover, and what it's going to take to get there, because that's ultimately what it's about. Like I talked about in the previous video, that desire and that clarity, and that be able to connect with that and then just go after it relentlessly, and then you will stop at nothing to accomplish it. You will stop at nothing. But I really want you to reflect on this for a moment. Because remember what I brought up in the beginning. We care too much what people think. You got to change. Look back on these chapters and eras with a smile on your face and be grateful. But know that it's not going to be that way forever. The way you look today will not stay that way forever. Where you live, you may not be here forever. Your life one day will be over. That money you're making today is not going to be the same this month or next month. It could go up, and it will probably, but then it'll go up and down. It's never going to be the same. Just like I look back, I had the years with the Lamborghini and all that. That was cool, and I can look back on that and smile and acknowledge it, but I knew deep down inside that wasn't going to be forever. I knew eventually I'd sell it and move on, and life goes on. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I say people are trapped in certain eras, and then we look down on those people and we feel bad for them. Like how many of you have a friend or an uncle or a family friend or somebody that you know, extended family, whatever, that may be my age, that's like 40 plus, but they're talking about, oh, back in high school and college, I was the man, and if I went pro, it's like, bro, that was over 20 years ago, grow up. We feel pity for those individuals. That's an example of somebody who got stuck in that era. They felt like that was their peak and what they focused on, and life has just been stuck there, and they've kept getting older and not evolving and embracing change. They're stuck there. Instead of just acknowledging it, closing that chapter and moving on. And this could come to your detriment if you're unable to do that. And you see that with that clear example that I gave you in a lot of people, and it's sad. But mentally, they're causing that anguish themselves. They're stuck. They will not move on. I would have loved to, back in the day, have made the NBA, but I'm 40 years old now. I know life goes on, whatever. And it was tough for me. I went through like a 6-month or year kind of like semi-depression. You guys have heard the stories on my old channel before I got into real estate and sales and entrepreneurship. But I finally let go and said, you know what? I'm only like 25, 26 years old. I got my whole life ahead of me. Let's close that chapter and move on. Let's stop feeling sorry for ourselves. We're not the victim. Let's take a deep breath, acknowledge it, wipe that last tear, and let's get to work and recreate the new version of me post-basketball. Done. I closed that chapter, but other people let that linger for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, a lifetime, causing deep regret, dissatisfaction of life. That's not good. You don't want that. That's going to weigh on you mentally long term. You do not want that for sure. So embrace change. Understand that the eras are eras. Where you're at now is where you're at now. Then it's going to grow. It's going to evolve. People will come and go. Opportunities will come and go. Situations will come and go. Right? You're going to make a lot of decisions. Some will be good. Some will be bad. It's okay, but you're going to learn. Understand that that's part of life. You will want, like I've wanted to accomplish every goal and everything on my perfect timeline. That's not the case. I wanted my Lamborghini by this day. I didn't get it until a couple months later. Does that mean I failed? No. That's just life. You want your business to explode in 6 months, but maybe in 6 months you're still broke. That's okay. Maybe after a year and a half, or 2 years, your business will explode. Are you going to stick with it? Because it never works out exactly. It never works out exactly as you say or think. There's always going to be some deviation because there's always factors that are outside of your control in life. There's always factors that are outside of your control in life. You cannot control those. All you can do is focus on what you can control, which is this, which is your input, your effort, how much brain power you put into creating your vision and refining it, and then fighting for it and doing everything you can to let it come to fruition. The impact that you leave on the world, how you treat other people, right? These are just some examples of what I'm giving you. Your thirst for knowledge and life and people and understanding things. Being able to mature emotionally and understand that we were given a wide range of emotions that we were going to feel as human beings, but understanding that we're not just this flesh suit. We're more than just animals. We have higher intelligence. We can communicate at a level that other species on this planet can't. We can think critically. We can do good. We can do bad. We can define good and bad. We're not just savages. Yet we live life in a way as if we were savages by not utilizing our higher intelligence, which is sad. Which I think our DNA will begin to punish us. When you go against that, the prerogative of your DNA, it punishes you. And this is why we don't feel good. This is why I know the last couple years especially, I've really tapped into that. And that's why I think I'm moving in the way that I am. Things aren't perfect, but I'm not upset all the time. I'm happy all the time, and I don't feel like I have all this pressure, and I don't have any stress, and I'm living good, and it's great, man. And the more I see people and interact with people, the more I see a lot of people just aren't on that wavelength. But I feel like I'm getting more and more in line with that code in the way of thinking and being and living and what I'm doing and what I'm providing to people, and it's cool. Because you get more satisfaction out of life. You become more lighthearted. You're in a better mood. You have more to be excited about. You're grateful more often. The problems that everybody deals with in life suddenly don't seem and feel as bad. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But go back, and I'm going to reiterate now the first point on the video. Are you living the life that you want to live? Or are you chasing validation? Because If you're not willing to embrace and change and evolve, and you stay stuck because of those expectations, which is one of the primary reasons that you would stay stuck, it's sad. Or you feel confined by your race or your culture or whatever it is. Again, those boundaries, those limits we impose on ourselves. Most of our limits are self-imposed. Remember that. And as you start to learn more and mature, you start realizing it. And the quicker you realize it, the quicker you can start doing something about it. All right? We'll see you.